Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to introduce exponents, and if you've been following along and working in your 6th grade math workbook, 6th grade is when we introduce exponents, and we're not going to get into all of the properties of exponents today. We're simply just going to talk about what they are, what the base and the exponent represent, and how to evaluate them. And the reason why is because we use exponents in the variety of operations we use to solve mathematical problems. And so the next big piece for today is looking at order of operations. And so first, we're just going to dive right into some exponent review. Then I'll do a quick mini lesson on what are the order of operations, and we'll end with some more practice problems. So let's get into it. We are going to start with some exponent review because in 6th grade, this is new. Exponents is the introduction to that. So we're going to start by looking here at 2 to the 3rd power. So our base is the big number 2, and then the exponent is your little number in the top right-hand corner. So the base is 2 and your exponent is 3. And there's two different ways that we can write exponents, or two different forms that we use. So there's exponential form, and we're going to practice both ways, in standard form. So exponential form looks like this. 2 times 2 times 2 is how we expand out what 2 to the 3rd power is. Mathematically, what we're doing is we take the base and we multiply it 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2, and that's exponential form. Now, standard form is when you solve it out. It's the value of the expression written as a single number. It's the result. So 2 to the 3rd power in standard form is 8. It's basically telling you what it equals. 2 to the 3rd power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is the answer 8. So 2 to the 3rd power equals 8. And that's standard form. So we're going to start here with practicing exponential form, and we'll do 2 problems. We'll go ahead and do number 1 and 2. Write each repeated multiplication as an exponent. So I'm giving it to you in exponential form, and we're going to write it as an exponent. So we see here on number 1, we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what's the base? And then what's the exponent? So our base is 3, and then the exponent is how many times we're multiplying, or how many 3's there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 to the 4th power would be our answer. Okay, and then number 2, we have 5 times 5 times 5. So what is our base? Our base is 5. And then how many times are we multiplying 5? 1, 2, 3. So this is 5 to the 3rd power. Let's have you try one. Go ahead and do number 3. You have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Write it with the base, right, is your big number, is your base, and I need to know the exponent, what your little number is. So what is the base and your exponent? Write your answer. If you're working from your workbook, put it in your workbook. If you're doing this on your own, go ahead and put your answer in the comments, and we'll see if you got it right. Now that we know what exponents are and how to evaluate them, we're going to get into the order of operations. So order of operations in mathematics is a set of rules that we use for the sequence to solve expressions. So if we have an expression that has addition, subtraction, exponents, multiplication, division, the order actually matters. And if we just started with whatever we wanted, like, oh, I want to do addition first, or this part's easier, we're all going to get different answers. So the order for operations, we start with groups first, or for the sake of 6th grade, we start with what's inside the parentheses. So first is parentheses. Whether there's addition inside the parentheses, or subtraction, or exponents, whatever's inside the parentheses, that's what we do first. Secondly, we will do exponents, and we just looked at how to evaluate exponents. Third, you're going to do multiplication and division depending on the order that you see it as you read through the problem, as you move through the problem left to right. So if I see division first, then I'm actually going to divide first and then multiply. If I see multiplication as I move from left to right first, then I'll multiply before I divide. So multiplication division can kind of flip back and forth depending on the order that it's written in the problem. And addition and subtraction is the same way. We move through the problem from left to right. If subtraction comes first, then we subtract. If addition comes first, then we add. So that's our order. We go parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, adding or subtracting. Now, before we get into this first problem, we want to talk about memorizing or knowing the order of operations. So an acronym that's very popular in mathematics education is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And this is just a phrase that a lot of people use to help them remember that parentheses comes first, then exponents. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But I don't know about you. I don't have a dear Aunt Sally, and the whole phrase or expression seems pretty random. So mathematicians are accurate. They like to attend to precision. And so for mathematics, for our acronym, we are going to use please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. And this makes sense when we're learning about mathematics. We have to expect mistakes. Please expect mistakes. That's how you learn. And then determination always succeeds. Anything that you want to do in life, whether it's getting through a math problem or making the varsity cheerleading team, whatever it is, determination, practice, continually showing up is what helps you to succeed. So please stands for P parentheses, expect stands for E exponents, mistakes, M stands for multiplication, determination, D stands for division, always, A stands for addition, and then succeed, S stands for subtraction. And again, remember, multiplication division depends on which order, the way that you read it from left to right, whether division comes first or multiplication comes first, and then addition and subtraction is the same way. Now let's look at our first problem. Evaluate 6 plus parentheses 4 times 3 to the second power divided by 2. So we remember, please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. So please means we're going to start with parentheses. And inside our parentheses, we have some multiplication, 4 times 3. And we know that 4 times 3 equals 12. Then I'm going to rewrite my problem and move to the next part. Please expect mistakes. So E stands for exponents. And now I have 12 to the second power. So 12 to the second power I know means I'm going to do 12 times 12, and 12 times 12 equals 144. So now I have 6 plus 144 divided by 2. And now we go to the next part of our acronym. So please expect mistakes, determination. So there's no multiplication left anymore, so we go to division. So I'm going to divide before I add that 6. 144 divided by 2 equals 72. And then we go through the rest of our acronym. Always succeed, add or subtract. So lastly, we're going to add 6. So 72 plus 6 equals 78. So remember, multiplication doesn't always come before division. You go from left to right. Let's start here with number 1, and we are going to use order of operations to simplify the expression. So let's remember our new acronym. Please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. And I am going to write that here, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, add, and subtract, so that I can check off as I go. So we're going to start here with number 1. Okay, we have 4 to the second power plus 3 times 2 to the fifth power. So please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. We start with P parentheses, so we're going to do 2 plus 5 first, which equals 7. And then I'm going to rewrite the problem, bring everything else down, 4 to the second power plus 3 times 7. Okay, we check for exponents, and that's what we're going to do next. So 4 squared is the same as 4 times 4. It is not 8. You're not doing 4 times 2. 4 times 4 is 16. I rewrite the problem. 16 plus 3 times 7. Next we have multiplication, and I have 3 times 7. So I'm going to do 21 plus 16. Rewrite the problem. Now there's no division, so I can check that off, and there's no subtraction, so I can also check that off. All I have to do is add 16 plus 21. 21 plus 16 gives us 37. So our answer to number 1 is 37. Now let's do number 2. Please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. So I have PEMDAS written on the side to help me keep track of my work. I'm going to start with parentheses. So inside my parentheses, I have 6 plus 2, which equals 8. And I'm going to rewrite the problem. So I bring down the exponent, 8 to the second power minus 10. Okay, next we have exponents. And so I'm going to do 8 times 8, which gives us 64, and minus 10. Remember, this is not 16. You're not doing 8 times 2. Write it out. That will help you remember and do it correctly. 8 to the second power means 8 times 8, which gives us 64. There's no multiplication. There's no division. There's no addition. All we have to do lastly is subtract. So 64 minus 10 is 54. So our answer to number 2 is 54. Today was our introduction into exponents, so we learned about what they are and how to evaluate them. And we see that they are part of the order in which we do operations. Exponents come second. And our order for operations is the process or the procedure that we go through when we solve a problem. So if you've been familiar with Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, we have a new acronym. Please expect mistakes. Determination always succeeds. And this not only helps us to memorize, we do parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, etc., but it reminds us that the process of learning math is a journey. It's about making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and keeping at it, keep showing up. Determination always succeeds, and that's how it is in all of life and especially in mathematics. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.